Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that everything humanity believed about aliens was a lie, and that the truth had been hidden for nearly 80 years. This is Disclosure Day, a sci-fi thriller that combines government conspiracies, psychic powers, secret experiments, and an event that changes the entire world forever. The story begins at a wrestling arena, where a whistleblower named Daniel Kellner is confronted by agents from the powerful Wardex Corporation. They have kidnapped his girlfriend Jane, and demand the return of a mysterious device that Daniel stole. But instead of surrendering, Daniel uses the device as leverage, forcing the armed agents to let him and Jane escape. While on the run, Daniel contacts an insider named Hugo, who secretly works against Wardex. Hugo tells him to stay hidden because the corporation is willing to do anything to recover what Daniel stole. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, we meet meteorologist Margaret Fairchild, whose ordinary life suddenly takes a bizarre turn. After a cardinal flies into her home, she begins speaking fluent Russian despite never learning it. Soon after, she starts revealing deeply personal secrets about complete strangers, almost as if she can read their minds. Things become even stranger during a live weather broadcast when Margaret unexpectedly speaks in a mysterious alien language before collapsing on camera. The viral footage immediately catches the attention of Wardex. At the same time, Daniel reveals the shocking truth to Jane. The files he stole contain classified footage showing that extraterrestrial beings have existed for decades and have secretly been experimented on by humans. As Wardex CEO Noah Scanlon desperately hunts them down, Margaret discovers she has an inexplicable connection to Daniel. Although everyone else hears meaningless sounds when she speaks the alien language, Daniel can understand every word. One message stands out above all others: don't be afraid of what you don't know. Scanlon possesses terrifying technology that allows him to invade people's minds. He attempts to control Daniel but fails, suggesting Daniel has unusual mental defenses. Instead, Scanlon manipulates Jane, trying to turn her against Daniel. Fortunately, the psychic connection is broken during a violent car chase, allowing the couple to escape. As the conspiracy deepens, Margaret abandons her normal life and follows mysterious instincts leading her toward Daniel. Their paths finally cross after Daniel is captured, and Margaret's strange abilities cause Scanlon himself to hesitate, seeing visions of his deceased wife instead of her face. Now working together, Daniel and Margaret uncover an astonishing truth hidden within their childhood memories. Using experimental technology created by Hugo's team, they relive forgotten experiences from decades earlier. As children, both had encounters with extraterrestrial beings. The aliens appeared in comforting forms: a deer, a fox, and a cardinal, to avoid frightening them before guiding them to a mysterious house deep in the woods. There, the children were subjected to experiments that unknowingly granted them psychic abilities. Daniel gained the ability to understand the alien language, while Margaret developed extraordinary mental powers and intuition. Wardex soon attacks the whistleblower's secret base, but Margaret activates an alien device that renders everyone invisible, allowing them to escape just before the device burns itself out. Knowing they have only one chance left, the group heads to Margaret's television station. Their plan is simple but incredibly dangerous. Broadcast the truth, live to the entire world. Wardex launches one final assault, cutting electricity to the station and trying to stop the transmission. At the last second, Jane arrives carrying another hidden alien device, restoring power and saving the broadcast. Daniel uploads every classified file he stole, exposing decades of secret government research and footage dating all the way back to the infamous Roswell incident. Screens across the globe light up as billions of people witness undeniable proof that extraterrestrial life has existed all along. With the conspiracy collapsing around him, Noah Scanlon finally gives up. Then comes the film's most unforgettable moment. The whistleblowers reveal a living extraterrestrial being, over 7 feet tall, standing before the cameras. The alien quietly whispers something to Daniel, who translates the message for Margaret. She turns toward the camera, preparing to address not just America, but the entire human race. Her first and only word is, "Listen." And at that exact moment, the movie ends, leaving audiences wondering what message the aliens wanted humanity to hear, and setting the stage for an even bigger mystery beyond the credits. That's Disclosure Day, a story about hidden truths, government cover-ups, forgotten childhood memories, and the moment the world finally learns that we are not alone in the universe. The single word "listen" is the ultimate psychological payoff of Disclosure Day, and it completely shifts how we look at the entire movie. Up until that final scene, the film plays out like a classic thriller, making you think the aliens are an invasive force because they are causing people to collapse, hallucinate, and lose control of their minds. But the ending flips this on its head. When the 7-foot-tall extraterrestrial finally stands before the cameras and whispers to Daniel, who passes the translation to Margaret, her instruction to listen isn't a threat. It's an urgent plea for human survival. The message means that humanity has been screaming into the void, fighting wars, and looking for existential meaning, all while completely ignoring the cosmic frequency that has been trying to guide us for decades. The aliens aren't here to speak over us or conquer us. They are waiting for us to quiet our own noise so we can finally comprehend our place in the universe. When you look closely at what happened to the extraterrestrials throughout the timeline, it becomes heartbreakingly clear who the real villains and victims are. The humans, specifically the Wardex Corporation and the clandestine government factions dating back to the 1947 Roswell crash, are the undisputed bad guys of this story. The aliens are entirely peaceful, benevolent observers, making them the true victims of human greed. For nearly 80 years these beings didn't attack us. Instead, humans hunted them down, shot down their craft, and locked them away in subterranean research labs. They were subjected to horrific, clinical vivisections and weapons testing, as human scientists desperately tried to reverse engineer their advanced technology and siphon off their energy for corporate monopoly. The story of how Hugo managed to save the living alien and present it at the television station is a testament to an underground resistance operating right under Noah Scanlon's nose. Hugo wasn't just an ordinary insider, he was part of a fractured network of rogue scientists within Wardex who grew deeply sickened by the corporate cruelty they witnessed. Over several years, Hugo used his high-level security clearance to slowly siphon off data, map out the blind spots in the facility's surveillance, and manipulate the automated containment systems. On the night the whistleblowers decided to make their move, Hugo enacted a meticulous extraction plan. He put the facility into a localized electronic lockdown, masked the biosignatures of the captive 7-foot being, and smuggled it out in a heavily shielded transport vehicle disguised as a hazardous waste unit. By keeping the entity hidden at a secure, off-grid safe house until the absolute last second, Hugo was able to bypass Wardex's primary strike teams and bring the living proof straight into the broadcast studio, delivering a shockwave that the corporate media machine couldn't suppress or spin. The film reveals that these extraterrestrials possess profound cosmic abilities, but they operate on a higher, non-violent dimensional plane. They don't use lasers or destructive weaponry. Instead, their power lies in consciousness and space-time manipulation. They are capable of projecting vivid, hyper-realistic illusions, altering human perception to appear as familiar animals, like a deer, a fox, or a cardinal, solely to prevent terrifying the humans they interact with. They have master-level psychic and intuitive abilities, which they can pass on to human children through genetic and mental activation, as they did with Daniel and Margaret. They can manipulate electricity, read minds across massive distances, and activate localized cloaking fields that can render entire environments and groups of people completely invisible to the naked eye and military radar. Their energy is so potent that even when a device housing their tech burns out, it leaves behind a temporary distortion in reality itself. Ultimately, the core message of Disclosure Day is a searing critique of human nature. It argues that our greatest threat isn't the unknown or the exotic terrors of outer space, but rather our own institutional corruption, paranoia, and obsessive desire to control and weaponize things we don't understand. The aliens came to expand our minds, offer cosmic stewardship, and elevate human consciousness. But humanity, driven by military-industrial greed, responded by building cages, performing torturous experiments, and manufacturing a massive tapestry of lies to keep the public in the dark. The movie forces us to realize that the monsters aren't the towering figures hidden in the shadows of the cosmos. The real monsters are the ones wearing tailored suits in corporate boardrooms and holding the keys to the cages.